everybody. This is Jason Wydrill, your host at OnlineStrategyPodcast.com. We have a short podcast tonight, but I have a very special guest, the Director of Alumni Relations at an international boarding school. She has a Facebook group with nearly 1,000 followers, and she is going to share with us some quick tips and pointers about managing a Facebook group. Her name is Takasia. Welcome, Takasia.
Thank you, Jason. It's actually members of the group, not followers, just in terms of terminology, because it's not actually a personal page, it's actually a group page.
Right.
And
poor choice of words on my part.
And so you can have a public page, which is a page, and that I recommend highly for any business, because that can be indexed by Google and come up on the first page of Google.
Right, so that's a page, but what we're talking about is a group specifically. So in this group, so you have is it a secure group or is it an open group?
It's a closed group.
Okay, and so what does that specifically mean?
That means that it's a private group, which means, and I have it set up so that I approve any of the members. Someone can invite someone.
Oh, someone else can invite someone, and then but you basically have to approve. Okay, so you monitor the members.
Someone can can request to be a member as well. And I just need to verify who they are.
Right.
Most of them, I have a pretty good idea.
Okay. Cool.
But actually, on a regular basis, I would say a couple times a week, I get fake profiles where you can go in and you can tell they have one photo and they just joined and you have no idea.
Oh, it's just like someone trying to spam you or something. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Exactly. So those guys, I don't add to it. So we've got this group, and this group is about 1,000. People. Most of them are alumni. It's focused on alumni, which the purpose of it is to get alumni engaged, interested in the school, being able to track well with what's going on at the school, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. Okay, so what single most thing have you done to this point since you've been managing this group over the years? What single most thing has been the most advantageous, to use an interesting word, for getting the alumni engaged and getting people engaged? Because I know with corporations, I'm very familiar with getting corporations and historical corporation stuff engaged and getting past customers engaged with things. But in terms of a school, what would you say is the single most effective thing that you've been able to do to get those older alumni from years and years ago back in, to get even the recent graduates staying in the loop? What has really kept that group alive?
I would say one of the more popular aspects of the group, and I actually surveyed this with the alumni, are the photos. The school undertook a project a few years ago where a bunch of old photos, thousands actually of old photos, were scanned, and now they're in a database that I have access to. Mm-hmm. And on a pretty regular basis, I'll put up a photo, maybe like once or 1 to 5 times a week. I open up photos.
And that's really important. That's a good point, because you basically monitor that, because you mentioned before we started the radio show here, you mentioned that there was a point in time where you were posting a lot of stuff and you realized you were actually losing some of your members because basically they were getting too much content on their wall, and probably likely they were just getting annoyed, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do to solve that? What was your solution to help to advise your members so that problem wasn't happening anymore?
Well, the first thing I did was to make sure they knew that they could turn off the notifications in the group. I would just put up posts reminding them.
So you send a post out, like just educating them, like go to the settings, go here, go here, go here, go here. Okay.
I put it in the description of the group, as well as for the first couple of months, I would do that because I noticed a few people were falling off, and I didn't want that. I didn't want them to drop off just because they were getting too many notifications. Right. I also just watched how often people came on the page, how often they commented on posts or liked posts, and just kind of from there tailored it more to what was interesting, what content they wanted, asked them what content they wanted, and then just tried to keep it relative to them, to all the different ages. So sometimes we'll put up a photo from the 80s, and sometimes we'll put up a photo from last year.
I see, right? Yeah, and I've seen a lot of the group posts, and yeah, it seems a very broad span. And it's interesting because you get interaction from all the different alumni classes through over the different generations.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea, is to get the different classes interacting with each other, because the page is not only to get them engaged in what the school is doing, but also to get them engaged with each other, because I've created also for networking. Like, some alumni will put up posts about they're looking for a job or they want to hire someone, and so I know there's been a few jobs that have been found in the last year just based on looking on the group page.
Right.
Also, if someone is looking for a STEM opportunity into a particular field, or if someone in a particular field is looking for apprenticeship, people who want to do apprenticeships, that kind of thing.
Right. So you're basically keeping everyone engaged in some way, like keeping past alumni, present alumni, helping each other, interacting, opening the communication between all the different generations, basically. So you're creating a self-sustained. The idea, I mean, obviously, the idea with social networking is creating like a self-sustained community of individuals with a similar, whatever the group topic is about. So, okay, so that makes a lot of sense. So you have the pictures, the interaction, the job, the help, and everything. What advice would you give to somebody right off the bat if they were going to start a group tomorrow with any product or service they're doing? And the podcast is about to be over. This is the last segment of the podcast. What advice would you give to someone starting a Facebook group tomorrow? Again, we're not talking about a page. We're talking about a group.
Yeah, I would say the first thing that I would do is find out what your audience for that group is going to be. Is it going to be your past customers? Is it going to be what exactly is that group going to consist of?
So really defining your demographic.
Yeah, define the demographic, and then also figure out how to get them, because you also, with the group, you have to invite the members, so you have to be able to locate the members.
Right.
And so is it appropriate to have a group if you're just selling a product and these are your past customers? I don't know if your customers are going to appreciate having their name looked up on Facebook, so probably not if you have a specific product, but if you have a school or some other kind of a group where it's normal to have that regular interaction, then it would be entirely appropriate, and then you just need to find a way to invite them on that group, and then start finding the best way to engage them. And it's all
a demographic. That's one thing that I preach over and over in all my podcasts. Is the internet is just like any other industry, but its demographic is the key element to a successful campaign, because it's all about targeting, right? It's all just about targeting and getting the right message out to the right people.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, Takeja, thank you for coming on the show, and we will have you on again in the future, because I have a lot more questions for you on some more specific stuff on how you go about some of the other activities that you prepare for your posts. So
no problem, Jason.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on the show, Takeja.